Yeah, I basically want to, for lack of a better word, get out of this MMR hell I'm currently in, but just improve, um, be good at Dota. That's basically the driving factor, of course. And then yeah,
Uh,
move out of those low levels.
what would you say is keeping you in the low levels?
Consistency, I'd say mostly. I sort of change basically how I feel is the best plan to get out there. I started with support, then I went mid, and then I thought maybe now plus one is the way to go because I of course there's always those games where you say either you're mid or your plus one are basically losing in the lane, and then we have no way to turn this around. So I thought maybe if I play carry, then this will happen the least. But that might just be a belief, but not actually a real fact. Then.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, one of a quote or a saying that immediately comes to mind to me is the greatest art is made with constraints. Um, it's something I think Jenkins actually talked to me about. I think one of the worst things you can do is bounce around in a bunch of different things. I think the only right thing you can do is choose one.
Yeah, yeah.
We just got to choose one. So is carry the choice?
I think it is the choice. Not I think it is the
Okay.
choice.
Okay.
I thought it was mid because like um it's easy to repeat and then to get good, but I think at the moment it's carry because I think faces the heroes I like to play at the moment. So
Okay. So, you have 2 hours total of coaching. It sounds like we're probably doing 30 minutes at a time, um, is what it seems like. So, my
mhm.
goal with each of these 30 minutes is to send you off with one thing that we can work towards being better,
Yeah,
establishing some more consistency, and hopefully give you a bit of a plan. So, I think the most important thing for someone to climb is to limit themselves in terms of what they're doing in terms of roles. Like we don't want to do too much, but also in terms of heroes. So I think the most important thing to establish here is maybe like three, maximum five heroes that you like playing.
yeah.
What would they be? What would you like your 3 to 5 heroes to be?
So I'm spamming Jugger at the moment, but he's often banned in my bracket at least. So I'm tried also to incorporate Medusa because I feel like if I have a good lane and it's an auto win
Okay.
some of the time at least. Um, DK is I really like DK. It's also not too complicated to work on, and I have one that's sort of out of not really fits that category, but I've been playing a lot of Nature's Prophet lately, and I realized that's your in the category of very complicated heroes, at least your video on that.
Yeah, I mean,
And
go ahead.
but yeah, I still I, I'm not sure if it's a theory of mine. Since there are so many games where you need to come back in my bracket, I feel like I'd like to play some heroes that have the ability to come back, and I feel like Nature is one of those. But I'm happy to any suggestions you might have for heroes that could also have a good mechanics to come back in the game where you're behind.
Yeah, I mean,
Then I'd
personally,
also
I'd
be interested
rather
in
not
that.
have you be coming back. I'd rather just have you winning
That's
lanes. Um,
that's true. Yeah, yeah.
so I don't. It's it's okay to do stuff like, how do I word this? There's a difference between me saying, it seems like my mid lane's losing a lot, so I want to pick stronger laners. But going from game to game, we should never anticipate being behind before the game even starts. Like when we're talking about the drafting portion, the strategy portion, before we even load into a pub, if we're thinking about what's going to happen in the game, that's just purely going to hurt us. Okay. So when we talk about like, I want heroes that come back better because that's in my games, the answer to that is how do we make it so you're not coming back all the time rather than
Yeah.
picking heroes that come back? Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally makes sense. I just say that it's not always on me that we're behind, but I know I get your point. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
it's for me, it's that it's. I'm not saying it's on you that you're behind, but what I'm
Yeah, yeah,
saying is if you do find yourself consistently coming back, on average, your teammates are going to put you there 50% of the time. Like on
yeah.
average, maybe it'll come in streaks, but on average, your teammates are going to go even. So, and sometimes they'll win, sometimes they lose. So, if it's happening consistently, there's almost certainly something you're doing that's contributing. We just have to find what that is to help you have it happen a bit less. Um, so what? Hopefully, you have a replay from one of those 4 heroes. Ideally, I think that's a
Yeah,
perfectly fine hero pool of 4. You know,
I would have something like that for nature. I have also one for Jug.
I
Medusa
personally,
games have been
I think
going
I would rather
good
start with
lately.
any of them that's not nature's, just because I need to see what you do
Yeah,
on a more standard carry.
yeah,
I think in the future we can definitely talk. I don't want to like shut down the idea of nature's, but I think it's hard to do it in like a first session of a few to go with a complicated hero. We can definitely talk about it later.
sure. Yeah, I got one for Jug. Let me
Sure.
post you the ID. I can maybe say to start with, I did watch a couple of other coaching sessions with you for you that basically exactly dealt with the early laning phase for Jug. So I have not incorporated this in this game, but feel like I already learned a lot there. But yeah, let's go through it then.
Sure. So in 30-minute sessions, I generally look to give like one major portion of the game that we're working on. Would you prefer that be early game?
Let me quickly think about this game. Yeah, I think the early is not really that interesting. With Jugger, I mostly struggle with items and the late game fights, but I'm not sure if whether that game is actually great for that. But yeah, let's just start from the beginning. Let's start with early game.
I say this in the most I'm trying to be as friendly but blunt as possible. Not a single person in Herald who is in Herald is because they buy the wrong items.
Yeah.
So I say that because
I get that.
yeah, if you guys copy paste builds, you're not gonna like it's just not gonna happen. So what I'm trying I'm not trying to shit on you, but I'm saying like what I think the number one trait I've noticed with the people I've been coaching that are between 300 and 2000 MMR is that they tell me really complicated things are their problems, and it's actually the complete opposite. It's super fundamental things that they're not doing consistently. And I personally think, I try to be consistent in this messaging, that itemization is the single hardest part of Dota. I think it is incredibly difficult to buy the right items.
Yeah, completely get that. So of course that's why I said consistency is my biggest problem. Yeah. So I just need to spam games and not do bad stuff.
For sure. Let's see this here. Okay. So you're doing lane equilibrium management here. You're spinning on this guy. This seems good. Yep, definitely looks like above. Yeah. Dropping tangos to eat them. Okay. 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 Yeah, everything looks pretty decent so far. Okay. Would want you to go pull small. No? Okay. Okay. First rule of thumb on carry is if the lane's pushing, we have to ask ourselves if the small camp is there. That has to happen every time. Odds are your support's not going to do it. So in this case, I would want you to pull small. When lane pushes, check if small is there and pull it. So the goal would be that you never miss a single small camp pull ever again, which is what we missed here. you know, if we just so people understand, when we don't pull small here, it's now 210. You had 7 CS. The next CS you got is at... You got a CS at 317. So, this is a bit of an extreme example, but this is why we pull small camp. A lot of times people will give the reasoning that I don't want to miss lane creeps, because that's like a reasonable thing. There's a lot of XP that's potentially dying up in here and stuff. But when the lane's this far up, most of the time you're not getting creeps anyway. So if we're talking about consistency, we want you to utilize the tools in the game available to you. We would have wanted you to pull small there as well. It's nice to kill the CM, but honestly, in short term, it's better that you don't kill people like this. You just pull small camp and manage lane equilibrium. In short term. Oh! Okay. Okay, I know I already said it, so I don't want to beat a dead horse. I want to make sure I'm abundantly clear. I need you to pull the small camp whenever you have the lane, not right in front of your tower, and it's available. Especially after 5 minutes, it's even more important because of the neutral items. There's probably 4 or 5 times you could have pulled the small camp in this lane, and you didn't do it a single time. So that means it's like a really big problem. Is there anything... Do you have any questions about that? Why I want you to do it or anything like that?
No, I think it's quite clear. In my head, I was just, that's my supports. You know, he has to do that, but I totally get it. If he doesn't do it, then I have to do it.
Yeah, I think it's really important for everybody to drop the notion that certain things are certain people's jobs, because at the end of the day, if it's somebody's job, that means it's important that it gets done. And the most simple version of this for carry is pull camps. And it is sad that your support's not doing it all, but that's why he's here. And the way that you get out of this is not by knowing what his job is, but to know what you're supposed to do in lane, and the pull camp is supposed to get pulled. So
yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
That's how we want to embrace getting out of low MMR, is by recreating what we want the lane to look like, knowing what the total sum of the job is, and doing everything we have to. Like, it sucks. It's not exactly exciting, but there's even lanes where my support doesn't pull properly. Like, honestly, it happens. So that never really ends for the carry. Yeah, because the thing I'm noticing is you're just consistently interacting with opponents, and that's only solved by having the pull camp available.
Yeah, and ironically, I started the game off with I'm gonna just lane and not you know, go down with them, but somehow that didn't work. Playing with the shaman, but also yeah, the way I went about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, if you don't pull the small camp, you're gonna fight them. Like, there's only one tool to solve your problem, so even if you go into the lane saying you're not gonna do that, what else are you gonna do if you're not pulling the small? Like, what, you're not gonna lane? Like, you know what I mean? It's the only solution to this problem, so unless you're just straight jungling, which I wouldn't want you to do. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah, that was just because I thought I had I did have ulti, and I've since learned that just because you have ulti, don't go out and fight, but yeah, play a little bit more active. But Yeah.
So let me know if I'm stretching here, but this is now reign true for like the last 5 people around your MMR I've coached. What we're trying to do is just the way you get out of Herald is by doing the fundamentally correct thing over and over again. And in Dota, one of the most crucial skills to have is having a game plan and sticking to it despite all the shit that's going on around us. So in my bracket, where people are making on average a lot of good plays, it's really important that I learn how to respond to their good plays and I prep myself for their plays and that I, strategize for these plays. And even then there's people that do stupid shit, right? Like it still happens. I do too.
Yeah.
I do stupid shit. But what you guys need to do to get out of Herald is to literally hold a small camp, not fight them ever, and just get a 14-minute battle fury. Like that's how we get out of Herald. And the point about carry is that our goal is to never fight them. We fight them because they're getting in the way of our creeps. Like that's why carries fight. There's somebody standing on top of my creeps. I'm stronger than them. I kill them. It's like, was that Nature's Prophet standing on top of creeps? No. Why am I killing him? That's the question.
Yeah.
So I want you to now reframe every hero in the game for the first 20 minutes of the game as a barrier to you hitting creeps. And how you interact with them is, oh, I'm stronger than them and they're standing on creeps. I will go hit the creeps. And if they get in my way, fine, I'll kill them. That's honestly, that applies to off lane. It applies to mid. To some degree, it applies to supports. Like you're just trying to help your teammate kill the creeps. Like that's what supports are doing. So what I've consistently seen, you mentioned consistency. The way we establish consistency is eye on the fucking prize. And the prize is creeps. And we talked about in the early game, you're out interacting with enemy heroes too much, and that's because you're not using the small camp. Honestly, simple fix. It'll solve all your problems that you're seeing there. And if you don't have a small camp, fucking sentry it. It's sad. You shouldn't have to buy a sentry, but do it. You just need the small camp. Sadly, you need it. So you sentry the small camp. You have it available every time the lane pushes out past like right here. The idea is like every time you feel like you can't just CS in lane, like you'd be able to, I'd want you to kind of feel out like I can't really walk up to these creeps. That would mean that you want to pull small. And that's pretty much means usually when it's like past here, especially against like a stun lane, like CK. So we use that. And then later on in the lane, our goal is to either push out the lane with auto attacks or spin. And if we feel like we're in too much danger to do that, then we jungle the camps behind us and scoop up the lane underneath the tower. Those are the only 2 instances. Like your 2 heat maps are push lane, camp, lane, camp, lane, or it's like camp, lane, like camp, lane. That's like the only 2 you should have.
Mm-hmm.
And if we get you doing,
sense, yeah.
if we get you doing that, then what we're also having you do is we're having you optimize the efficient farming patterns while also helping you work on, do I think I'm stronger than this guy or not? And the only gauge we have to have in terms of like, what is this philosophical question of, am I stronger than this guy or not? The question is, when we both walk at this creep wave, who clears it? Like, if we both walk at it and we could cast spells on each other, who wins? Right? And it's like, well, if I can walk up a spin and get away, but like when you spin and you get like reality rift and stunned and then rooted by CM, it's like, okay, I guess I can't spin the wave. But like you'll have to learn that. That's fine. Like it's not that I expect you to know all these matchups and everything. It's like I'm showing you the picture of a cake and I'm giving you the ingredients and you're still gonna fuck it up. And that's fine. Like it's hard to bake a cake. I actually don't know because I don't bake cakes. But the point is it's like I'm showing you all this stuff and it's okay if it still tastes like shit. But it's gonna look more like a cake. Before you just were putting shit in the oven. and seeing what it
Yeah.
turns into. But we don't want that. We don't want to
Yeah.
find out what we're turning into. We want to be conscious of what we're trying to make here. Okay. So. Okay. My question for you is, why did you TP back here when you respawned? What was your thought about TP?
It's as simple as I'm pos 1, I'm bottom lane. But yeah, you're
Okay.
saying there's too many people here. Mid is free. I should have gone mid. Okay,
Absolutely. Go to the lane with creeps. I want you, when you're respawning, to tell me which lane you think you'll get the most creeps in.
Yeah.
And right now, that would be mid. And, you know, that is funny. You're the second carry I've coached in the last 2 weeks who gave me the exact same answer. And the other one was, I think, 2.3K or something. And he did the same thing. So, it's just interesting, you know? But yeah, sometimes in Dota, we can caught up. Here's kind of a, I'm giving an observation that I think is kind of interesting, that it applies to you, but it's not like just you. Is that at the same time, there's so much chaos in the way that your games are being played and some of the moves you make are unpredictable. So there's a lack of consistency, but then you will consistently TP to the safe lane.
Yeah.
So what you're kind of doing is you're operating within rigid systems that are not the beneficial systems. Like, they're not going to help you. Like, thinking about whose job is to do what is not a good rigidity to have. Thinking about this is your lane or whose lane is what is not a good rigidity to have. But I am going to hit creeps, period. That is a good rigidity to have. Like, so it's all about what things we decide are rigid. Like, these are priorities number one. These are things that will get us wins. And so I just want to point out that what I've noticed with pretty much every Dota player I've coached is that we all have our rigidities. It's just, we all have our systems. It's probably a better way to describe it. We all have our systems. Just what are they? And we need to tweak them a little bit. And if we have the right systems, over time, the growth will happen. So we're just kind of redesigning your systems here. Yeah, I'm crying a bit as I watch this on the minimap. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So I feel quite confident that we can make some huge fucking changes for you. You're going to play carry, and your mission is to ask yourself this question. Where are the most creeps I can hit? Start with lanes. Meaning, I would rather lane than jungle. But if you're laning, there's going to be a bunch of shit going on your screen. And I would just want you to ask yourself, how many creeps am I hitting per second? If it's a low number, wrong place to be. If it's a high number, good place to be. So there's a million things going on our screen. We need to filter the garbage. Like, there's a lot of garbage, a lot of noise, as Jenkins called it. There's a lot of noise, a lot of distractions. And so if we're hitting heroes or anything other than hitting creeps where we feel threatened so we don't walk up to hit creeps, whatever, that's not the right place to be. So what I want to see, you know, for me, I'm just more focused on, we have 2 hours, you know, I'd rather not like draw it out to 30 just in case we can spend a few extra minutes next time, whatever. My goal for you coming next time is your best attempt in the first 15 minutes of hitting as many creeps as possible, utilizing the small camp in the first 5 minutes, and then generally speaking, either the push lane, this camp, or, you know, this camp, back to lane. And when you die, go to the lane that you think has the most creeps. And I think if we make those 3 shifts, I'm just going to see a completely different form of gameplay, and I want to see what you do with it. Like, I just think there's too many unknowns now if we change those things. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Sweet. So, I'm only saying this to you because of past students that I didn't know I had to say it. To be very clear, let's stick to the 4 heroes that you picked. Jug, Medusa, DK, Natures. I'm not going to be picky about what hero you play. I think it would be most helpful for you if it's not Natures in terms of this, because the benefit of Natures, but also the problem with him is he can be anywhere on the map. So it's a little bit weird in terms of map play. Like DK, Medusa, and Jug will all have some degree of similarity with the way that they execute what I'm telling you. While Natures will be quite different. So for now, I would lean towards those 3, but we can, maybe in the second or third or the third or fourth session, we can get to Natures.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my goal is, as long as you come back with a replay of one of those 3 heroes, and your goal is to hit as many creeps in the first 15 minutes as possible, then I think we're going to go somewhere. Any questions?
Should I pick those heroes, letting go of any, like, what's the offlane gonna be? If it's a good hero in the overall sense, I just pick those. Doesn't matter what the other guys picked, right?
My best all-encompassing answer to this question is the lower MMR you are, the less reactionary to shit you should be. So you should pick heroes that you're good at and you're refining. You should not be counterpicking.
Yeah.
Like, you should try to pick the best of the 3 you got. Like, if you think it's the best Medusa out of the 3, it's best to pick Medusa. It's not like purposely counterpick yourself, but work with the tools you got. Work with constraints. Constraints are I'm hitting creeps, and I'm picking from these 3 heroes. From there, the world is your oyster. Where do you hit creeps on the map? What hero do you pick out of those 3? Are you pushing the wave and then jungling? Are you jungling then pushing the wave? Are you TPing to mid because it's free? The world is your oyster, but you have to pick one of those 3 heroes, and you have to try to hit creeps. I think
Sounds easy enough.
I think you'll be amazed how much more creative you get when you impose constraints on yourself. So yes, for me, it kind of blew my mind when I came to this realization, because Jenkins said it, and then I started thinking about it in life, and then it's been awesome. So, curious how it goes for you. So you said seems easy enough. I'm excited to see what it turns into. Do you have any questions?
No, I think I'm good.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Awesome, man. No problem. Sorry about spacing on the session. It's on my calendar and everything.
No worries,
pretty
man.
inexcusable. Yep. See you, man. Just let me know when you want to book the next one. You can just message me.
Sure.
So,
Sounds good.
see you, dude.
See ya. Thank you. Bye.
No problem. Okay, guys.